Dear students, welcome you all to the session 1 video of chapter Capital Structure, Financial Management, 5th semester BCom. In the previous session, we have seen the scope of financial management, the traditional approach as well as modern approach, and we have seen the decision areas of financial manager. In this session, we will see the meaning of capital structure. Capital structure is the combination of debt and equity used by a company to finance its overall operation as well as growth. It's actually a balance between the debt and equity. It is the permanent financing of the firm which is represented by long-term debt, preference shares, equity shares and retained earnings. So the proportionate relationship between debt and equity is known as the capital structure. Now, the long-term finance may be ownership capital or it may be a borrowed capital. So, ownership capital may be equity share capital, preference share capital and retained earnings. Now, equity share capital means the investment made by the owners of the business. These owners, they enjoy the rewards as well as bear the risk of the ownership. They are paid the dividend only after paying the dividend to the preference shareholders and after meeting the future investment needs the organization. Preference share capital, it represents the investment made by the preference shareholders. As the name suggests, these preference shareholders enjoy preference over the payment of dividend. The retained earnings. Retained earnings means the earnings which are not distributed to the shareholders. A firm may decide to retain a portion of the earnings or they may decide to retain entire earnings and utilize it for financing the projects. The borrowed capital may be in the form of a debenture or a term loan or others. So, debenture is actually a financial instrument for raising the long-term capital. The debenture holders are the creditors of the company. Fixed rate of interest has to be paid to the debenture holders. Debentures may be convertible debentures or non-convertible debentures. So, in case of convertible debentures, these debentures can be converted into shares after a fixed or a specified period of time. And non-convertible debentures cannot be converted into shares. They have to be repaid at the time of maturity. The business firm can take term loans from the banks or from financial institutions like Industrial Finance Corporation of India, IFCI, Industrial Development Bank of India, IDBI, or Small Industries Development Bank of India, SIDBI, or Unit Trust of India, or State Finance Corporation like. Now, the others means foreign sources like the external borrowings or foreign investments or deposits from NRIs. So, the long-term finance may be from in the form of ownership capital or it may be in the form of a borrowed capital. Now, let us understand the meaning of debt. Debt in Kannada called Sala, isn't it? At a corporate level, a firm can raise funds by taking loan from banks or financial institutions or they can issue bonds or debentures. Loan from banks or financial institutions like IFCI, IDBI, SIDBI, etc. Now, debenture, issue of debenture. What is a debenture? Debenture is actually a long-term promissory note which is issued by the company for raising the capital. The purchasers of debentures are the debenture holders. So, the firm, the debenture holders are the creditors of the company. The firms can also issue bonds. In case of bonds, interest at fixed rate is accumulated and it is paid at the time of repayment. So, what is debt? Debt is any source of finance that gives creditorship status to the supplier of funds. So, that is, as I said, the debenture holder is a creditor of the company. What does it mean? The company is liable to pay the amount of money to the debenture holders. Now, let us look at the features of debt. In case of debt, a fixed rate of interest has to be paid to the debenture holders or to the banks if loan is taken. The rate of interest is fixed and it has to be compulsorily paid irrespective of whether the firm is incurring losses or earning profits. That is, the payment of interest is legally binding on the firm. The loan amount or the principal amount has to be repaid after the maturity period. The debentures are issued for a specified period of time. The principal amount or the face value of debenture has to be paid at the time of maturity. The loans as well as debentures are either secured or unsecured. So in case of a secured debenture, there is a charge or lien on a company's asset, which means that if the company defaults the interest payment and the repayment of principal, the assets can be taken over and the sale proceeds can be distributed among the debenture holders. When the debentures are not secured by any charge on asset, it is called as unsecured debentures. The debenture holders do not have any voting rights. That is, the debenture holders cannot participate in the annual general meeting of the company. The debenture holders have a claim on company's earnings prior to that of the shareholders, which means the debenture interest has to be paid before paying any dividend to preference shareholders or equity shareholders. So even in case of liquidation, the debenture holders have a claim on assets prior to that of shareholders, which means that the money received from the sale of asset has to be first paid to the debenture holders. Now, let us look into the merits of debt. The issue of debenture involves less cost to the firm than equity financing because investors consider the debenture to be relatively less risky and therefore they require a low rate of return. Debenture holders do not have any voting rights, therefore the issue of debenture does not dilute the ownership. We know that the interest rate for debt is fixed. Their payment rates are limited to the interest specified. If the firm earns huge profits, then extra interest need not be given to the debenture holders. The debt has the benefit of leverage. We will study the concept of leverage in detail later. Now, I will explain in a very simple way. The rate of interest on debt is fixed irrespective of the profits earned by the company. The ordinary shareholders are entitled to the residual income, that is after paying to the debenture holders and preference shareholders. Now, for a small change or increase in the operating income, the earning per share will increase more than that. I'll give an example. Imagine there are 1,000 shareholders and the operating profit of the firm is 10,000. And 2,000 rupees is the interest to be paid. That is fixed amount. Now 10,000 minus 2,000, 8,000 is the amount or profit available to equity shareholders. Now the earning per share, that is for one shareholder, it is 8,000 divided by 1,000 shareholders, 8 rupees. So the EPS or earning per share is rupees 8. Suppose there is 50% increase in operating profit. 10,000 plus 50%, that is 5,000, 15,000. So actually there should be 50% increase in EPS also, isn't it? Now let us see. Now the new operating profit will be 15,000. Then 2,000 rupees is the interest. 15,000 minus 2,000. 13,000 is the earnings available to the equity shareholders. Now earning per share 13,000 minus 1,000, that is rupees 13. Now, what is the increase? 5 rupees, isn't it? So, what is the percentage increase? 5 divided by 8 into 100, 62.5% increase. So, operating profit has increased by 50% and the EPS has increased more than that, that is 62.5%. The shareholders could get this benefit because of the presence of debt in the capital structure. That is called as leverage. That is benefit of leverage. Now, the interest paid to the debenture holders or the interest paid on loan is considered as an expense and it is charged to the profit and loss account. To that extent, the income of the company reduces. When the income reduces, the tax burden also reduces. That is called as the tax advantage. Now, the debenture holders do not carry any voting rights. So, they actually do not pose any threat of takeover attempts and all in the company. So, the company can assure managerial stability. The SEBI norms, that is Securities Exchange Board of India regulations, are easier in case of a debenture issue when you compare it with the issue of equity shares. We also can see that the market for debt securities are stable. It does not fluctuate like the equity market. Now, let us understand the demerits of debt. The first one is the compulsory payment of interest. Interest has to be paid to the debenture holders or to the bank, irrespective of whether the firm is incurring losses or earning profits. So that's the greatest problem here. So another problem is the compulsory redemption. So the amount has to be repaid at the time of maturity. So it will be very difficult for the firm to acquire funds and repay the huge amount of fund at the time of maturity. And the third aspect is charge on assets. As I said, in case of secured debentures or secured loan,